So we're going to solve word problems in algebra, inequality word problems, specifically we're calling that. So we have some strategies to follow during the word problems and some keywords that we need to know to write the inequalities easily. So I already list the strategies as you see on the screen. Read through the entire problem. This is the first step. Always read through the problem. And then, or you may go sentence by sentence by highlighting the key terms or the numbers. And then the second bullet says highlight important information and keywords that you need to solve the problem. With this highlighting and then circling those important terms, which helps you to separate the important information in the problem that you're going to use during this solution. And then the third one, identify your variables. If the variables already provided, use those variables. Don't make up any variable. If the variable is not provided, then you may make up a variable to use it, because you don't want to write the sentence or the words again and again. Variable makes your life easier. That's why we're using variable in algebra. And then write the equation or inequalities. And after you write the equation inequalities, you're going to solve that one. Solving means basically isolating your variable by undoing operations. Remember, we're following the reverse direction in the PEMDAS. And then write your answer in a complete sentence. This is important because this is a word problem, especially the state exams and AP exams that you're going to have later on at the end of high school. You need to write your answers as a complete sentence for the word problems. And then check or justify your answer. Always, if you have time, double check your solution. Maybe you may make tiny mistakes that affect the results, okay? Or calculation mistakes and so on and so forth. So let's look at some key terms, keywords. We have the first one is at least. At least is the first one that we have, meaning greater than or equal to. At least greater than or equal to, because when we said at least 5, for example, that means 5 or and above, okay? So that's why it's greater than. And then we have no more than. The next one is no more than, meaning less than or equal to. No more than, or at most. The other one is at most, okay? At most. Also same meaning, no more than or at most. Means less than or equal to. And then more than, which means greater than, and then less than means less than, as you know, those two. So those, if you know those 4, 5 with the at most key terms, it's going to be easier for you to set up the inequality or the word problems. So let's look at the first example that we have. I'm going to do 2 examples, then I'll give you time to solve the problems, and then we'll go over it after that. The first problem that we have is Keith has $500 in a saving account at the beginning of the summer. So what I have to have highlight over here is $500 at the beginning. And then he wants to have at least, that's the key term I have, keyword, at least $200 in the account by the end of the summer. So that means he's going to spend some of them. And then he withdraws $25 each week for the food, clothes, and movie tickets. This is important number again, 25 each week. So the first bullet says, the figure symbol says, write an inequality that represents a key situation. So let's look at this one. First of all, we have at least. At least means something or above, something or above. So it's greater than or equal to I have. Greater than or equal to. So whatever I'm going to do is at least 200. So that means 200 or more, okay? But minimum $200 I have to have in my hand at the end of the summer. So that's my goal. So right now, I need to calculate, I need to set a variable first. It says each week. I don't know how many weeks we have. So let's say W is the week that we have. So, and I know that W cost is per W, I'm going to spend $25. So, meaning that at the beginning, I have $500 minus the spending, okay? 25 times W, that's my spending. So we write the situation right now. This is the first one, okay? Well, let's say put this one, don't get confused with the inequality symbol. So the first one. The second one is, how many weeks can Keith withdraw money from his account and justify your answer? Justify your answer has two meanings, either explain it or do the work step by step and show it. So basically, the question saying that isolate the variable that we have, which is W. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add, I'm going to subtract 200 from both sides to combine the like terms. So it's going to be 300 minus 25W greater or equal to 0. Then I'm going to add 25W to the both sides of the inequality. Remember, we're using properties, addition property in this case. So that's 0. 300 greater or equal to 25W, because 0 plus 25W is 25W. This is a multiplication. I'm going to undo multiplication, which is division. So when I do that, this is 1. 1 times W is W. And then 25 goes into 300, which is 12 times. So that at least 12 weeks, okay, if I spend for food, clothes, and movies for 12 weeks, then I have $200. So that means anything that I need to have is $12 or less, because W is less than $12. Let's rewrite this one in the standard form. W is less than or equal to 12. Okay, this is the standard form. Just flip the inequalities. Okay. So the waiting room, I have 2-person waiting room. Okay. So Meet is in. Perfect. Welcome, Meet.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Anyone have any question?
No.
Okay. Number one, again, this is the first step, which is right here, number one. And number two is whatever we did over here. Okay. That's our justification. All right. So that means if I write this one as a set, so I have total of 12 options. Those are 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks, and so on up to 12. Okay, those are possibilities. All right, so let's move on to example 2. So the example 2 says more inequality or problems. So yellow cab taxi charges a $1.75 flat rate in addition to 65 cents per mile. So when I get in the car, I'm just going to pay $1.75 first. Then every mile, I'm going to pay 65 cents. Katie has no more than, oh, that's the key term that I learned, no more than $10. So that means maximum $10 she has, okay? No more than. So that means $10 or less, okay? $10 or less we have, whatever we have, okay? So the question says, write an inequality that represents Katie's situation. So let's write that. So we know that at the beginning, she's going to pay $1.75, just one time flat rate. Plus every miles, I don't know miles, so let's use M as a variable, mile is M. And then I'm going to pay 65 cents per mile, okay? But the maximum I have is $10. No more than 10 means maximum $10. I have $10 in my pocket. I don't have $10.01, okay? So this is the first one. Let's look at number 2. Now, how many miles can Katie travel without exceeding, this is important, without exceeding her budget, which is without exceeding $10. Justify your answer. So let's do that. Again, this is number 1. We'll do number 2 right now. That means we're going to isolate the M. So subtract 175 from both sides, which gives us 0.65 M less than or equal to 8.25. And then I need to divide both sides by 0.65 to get the M by itself. So this is 1 times M is M less than or equal to, let me use a calculator to be precise, 825 divided by 0.65. I got $12 on 12 miles. Let's round it to the nearest, question is not saying anything, so we're just going to round it to the nearest tenth, let's say. So it's going to be 7. So that means I may have this right, this travel up to 12.7 miles, okay, or less. If I spend $5, I'm going to go less miles. If I spend close to $10, I'm going to spend close to 12.7 miles. Okay, if I spend $10 exactly, I'm just going to make 12.7 miles. Okay, so this is our answer for this problem.